May I have your attention, please? We will begin the swearing-in ceremony now. Mr. Town Crier.
Whereas the Municipal Act of 2001, as amended, and the Municipal Elections Act require the clerk of the municipality to hold a poll for the purpose of electing city council. And whereas nominations were sought, candidates filled, and a poll was held on October 27, 2014. And whereas I am directed by the clerk of the Corporation of the City of Port Colborne to publicly announce those persons that the clerk has certified as duly elected. Now, therefore, as official town crier for the Corporation of the City of Port Colborne, I hereby state that following persons are duly elected and are requested to come forward to subscribe to the required oath of office. Elected for Ward 1 councillors, David Elliott and John Main. Elected for Ward 2 councillors, Angie Demarais and Yvonne Doucette. Elected for Ward 3 councillors, Frank Danch and B. Kenny. Elected for Ward 4 councillors, Ron Bodner and Barbara Butters. Elected to the office of Mayor, John Maloney. All persons having business before the Council of the Corporation of the City of Port Colborne, draw nigh, take heed, and be attentive. May the Council-elect govern with wisdom, integrity, foresight, and truthfulness. Long live the Council of the Corporation of the City of Port Colborne, and God save the Queen. Sergeant at Arms.
Sir.
March on the colors.
Aye, sir. Color party. By the left. Quick. Forward.
Would you stand for the singing of our national anthem, led by Joel Longfellow?
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot long, in all thy sons command, car ton bras se porte l'épée, il se porte la croix, ton histoire est une épopée de plus brillant exploit. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you, Joel. Well done again. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. I'll call upon the clerk of the City of Port Colborne and the Honorable Madam Justice Teresa Madalena to administer the oaths of office to the members of City Council.
Mr. Mayor John Maloney, please.
I, John Maloney, having been elected to the office of mayor in the municipality of the Mayor Badaway did this last week, so he said it was okay if I do it this week. In the municipality of the corporation of the City of Port Colborne, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, and I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath. I swear.
And you solemnly swear.
I solemnly swear. Thank you.
You're welcome. We're going to sign too.
Thank you.
Just one moment. And I want to congratulate you. Take this opportunity to wish you my best as well.
Very much appreciate that.
David Elliott, please. Here's your oath. Fill in your name.
Please.
Please.
Supposed to see him. Perfect. I, David Elliott, having been elected to the office of councillor in the municipality of the corporation of the City of Port Colborne, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, and I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
And you do so swear.
I do so swear.
Dave, you're going to sign 2 of them, please. Thank you. Just one moment, please. That's fine.
Did you get any pictures? Good.
Congratulations and all the best to you.
Thank you.
John Main, please. Good evening. Your oath is here. Just fill in your name, please.
I, John Main, having been elected to the office of councillor in the municipality of the corporation of the city of Port Colborne, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise the office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, directed or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear the true allegiance to Her Majesty the Queen II. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously believing it to be true, knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
And you do so swear.
I so swear.
You're going to sign 2, please, John.
Hey.
Just one moment, please. Congratulations and all the best to you. Angie Desmarais, please. Here is your oath. You just fill in your name, Angie.
Okay. I, Angie Desmarais, having been elected to the office of councillor in the municipality of the corporation of the city of Port Colborne, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. I make this promise, this solemn promise and declaration, conscientiously believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath. I do so swear.
And you do so swear. Again, there's 2 copies of there to sign,
Thank
please,
you.
Angie. Okay, just one moment, please. Congratulations and all the best.
Thank you very much.
Yvonne Doucette, please. So here Here's your oath, just fill in your
Yeah.
name. Thank you.
Thank you. I, Yvon Doucet, having been elected to the office of councillor in the municipality of the corporation of the city of Port Colborne, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other inappropriate manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. And I make this solemn promise and declaration consciously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath. I solemnly swear.
And you do solemnly swear?
I do.
Right. Okay, there's 2 copies, please. Just have this. Just one. Congratulations and all
Thank
the
you very
best
much.
to you. Best to you. Frank Danch, please. This right here.
I, Frank Danch, have been elected to the office of the councillor in the municipality of the corporation of the city of Port Colborne, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, impartially exercise the office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interests, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, and I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as it made under oath.
And you do solemnly swear?
I do solemnly swear.
I just sign 2 copies, please. Is that not right?
It does now.
And the second copy is there, please. Just one, please. Congratulations. All the best. These are yours. B. Kenny, please.
I, B. Kenny, having been elected to the office of councillor in the municipality of the corporation of the city of Port Colborne, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, and I make this solemn promise and declaration consciously believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
And you do solemnly swear.
I do solemnly swear.
There's 2 copies, B. Second, please. Just write that, please. Ron Bodner, please. Your actual oath is right
Look
there
at
with
that,
your
I
name
got my
on it.
name on
Yes,
it.
you do.
I, Ron Bodner, having been elected to the office of councillor in the municipality of the corporation of the city of Port Colborne, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truthfully, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
And you do solemnly swear.
I do solemnly swear.
There's 2 copies, please, Ron. Just one, please. All the best to you,
Thank you,
Ron.
Madam Justice. Thank you.
Barbara Butters, please. Your oath is here.
I, Barbara Butters, having been elected to the office of councillor in the municipality of the corporation of the city of Port Colborne, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received, I will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any way, any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, and I make this solemn promise and declaration, conscientiously believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
You do solemnly swear.
I do solemnly swear.
There's 2 copies, Barbara.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Madam Clerk, could you join us on the dais? All those having been sworn, I would ask all members of council to please be seated. Will senior staff please join us? I call this first meeting of the Council of the City of Port Colborne for the 2015-2018 term to order. We have one council agenda to consider this evening. May I have a mover and a seconder for the approval of the agenda? Moved by Yvonne Doucette, seconded by Ron Bodner. All in favor? Motion carried. On behalf of members of council, I would like to thank Madam Justice Madalena for her attendance here this evening, along with her honor guard, members of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Terry Dyson, our piper. Everyone loves to hear the bagpipes. And Dr. Tom Pickar, our town crier. Guests and staff, especially our Air Cadets, 79th Linton Squadron, our Sea Cadets from, I believe it's Renowned, and our Navy Cadets from Victory. Gentleman's behind me here. Then our Niagara Regional Police, our Port Colborne firefighters, and our Ontario Provincial Police. Your presence here is indeed an honor for all of us on the dais here. Thank you very, very much for being in attendance and helping this make this evening an exemplary for all of us. I would ask the councilors if they would like to say a few words. Perhaps we'll start with our ladies first. Councillor Butters.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Honorable Madam Justice Madalena, good evening. Honored guests, which of course includes our families and our friends and staff. It is a pleasure and a privilege to once again take a chair in this chamber and to serve our city and to represent and be a voice for the citizens of Ward 4. In the months leading up to the election, there was the usual planning and excitement and all the things we do to prepare. Receiving an acclamation this year is a strange feeling. However, it makes it no less sweet. If anything, I'm humbled by the turn of events, more appreciative of the responsibility entrusted to me, and more determined than ever to be worthy of this privilege. I've had the good fortune to work with amazing people, with residents, with council, with staff, all of whom are committed to Port Colborne. This new term is one of promise. I look forward to an exciting 4 years of positive steps and actions, building on past success and creating new opportunities. Moving along with renewed vigor and a sense of hope for all. When we work together, we can do things for Port Colborne. We can do good things for Port Colborne. My pledge to all of you is to do just that. Work hard, work together, and make things better as we go. I will finish off here on a very personal note. I'm blessed to have a wonderful family and circle of friends who truly make it possible for me to serve Port Colborne in the way that I do. I want to thank them for their patience and their love and their support. I couldn't do it without them. So especially to my husband Larry and my mom Mildred Morrison, my daughter Sky, and my best friend Deb Wright, my thanks, and I love you all. Last but not least, my dad is watching over us, and I'm sure he's smiling, because in our family, love never ends. Thanks so much for your time, and God bless.
Thank you, Barb. Councillor Kenny, representing Ward 3.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to start off my remarks by really thanking the residents of Ward 3. While I was out campaigning, I met many of you at the door who took time out to share your concerns and to offer encouragement to the challenges that face this term of council. I have just taken my oath of office administered by the Honorable Justice Madalena. It is one oath that I do not take lightly, and I consider it an honor and a privilege to serve in the capacity of councillor for our community. Thank you for putting your trust in me once again. To my husband Wayne, for being my sign man, for putting them up, keeping them straight, and taking them down to a very demanding candidate. Thank you for your love and support as we celebrate this 2015, our 40 years of marriage. It's also my 18th year at this council table. And for the times, Wayne, you tagged along to many events when you rather would have been sitting home watching my beloved Maple Leafs beat your Montreal Canadiens. I thank you for tagging along. To my daughter Leah, who helped me in this campaign, taking me to the northernmost boundaries and the westernmost boundaries of Ward 3, and for taking over all those household duties that got left behind while I was on the campaign trail. At my last inaugural speech, my son had just told me that him and his wife Jen were going to have another baby. Well, they surprised me, and I've had 2 more grandchildren since then. So the Kennys have done their part for increasing the population of the city of Port Colborne. We are done. To my oldest grandson, Cameron, who's here in attendance, watching his grandma for the first time, actually, coming to see her get sworn in. Thank you, Cameron, for coming. To my sister, Edna, for always being in my corner, despite the fact that for all the time I've been on council, except for this year, she's always just been known as B-Sister. She volunteered many times, and everybody said, it always said on the volunteer list, B, and underneath that it said B-Sister. So finally she spoke up and said, I have a name, it's Edna. And finally to my friend Liz, who came down from London, Ontario, to help on election day, and is here tonight to celebrate this very special day with me. To my fellow councilors, we have added 2 new members to our team. And I know that we all welcome them and look forward to their ideas. This past Friday during our orientation, we heard that the Supreme Court and the Ontario Human Rights Tribunal has ruled out that prayer will not be allowed at the beginning of our council meetings because somebody decided that this doesn't belong in the council chamber. And we cannot ask for his guidance before our meetings. And despite how we feel as individuals, we have been told that we cannot challenge this ruling. However, one thing that they cannot be ruled out by any court in Canada, is the one common denominator that this group of people sitting at this council table have, and that's our community. We come on council to make a difference, and with our Maker's help, we are going to make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you, B. Councillor Desmarais, representing Ward 2.
Thank you, Mayor Malone. Good evening, everybody. Welcome here tonight, and thank you so much to everyone who stepped forward and made this night all that it is. I want to give a special thank you, though, to staff, in particular Nancy Giles, who put together most of what you see tonight. Really goes beyond what's required of anyone. I'm so pleased to be here tonight, and so very pleased to be working with such a talented council. New or incumbent, each one of us brings strengths and passions to the council table, without a doubt. As a new team, over the next few months, we'll get down to the business of setting priorities and building a new strategic plan for the city of Port Colborne that is achievable, affordable, and effective. Together as a council, with the assistance of our city staff, who again goes beyond what can be expected from any staff, and with the ongoing engagement of our residents, I'm certain that we'll continue to make significant gains that benefit everyone in our community. Personally, I'd like to once again thank my family, in particular my husband Gilles and my daughter Jennifer, for your understanding of the demands of my position. And just to let you know, you're not only my strongest supporters, you're my best critics and my most trusted advisors. Finally, to the residents of Ward 2, let me simply say thank you for your ongoing support and encouragement. I am so very honored and so very humbled to continue to serve the community that I love. Thank you all.
Thank you, Angie. Councillor John May.
I've been waiting for a while to do this.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank my wife. She put up with my political shortfallings and long comings and whatever you call them for a number of years. And finally she said, or get off the pot. Yeah. So I did. I'd like to also thank the rest of my family for support. I have 2 daughters and 7 lovely grandchildren. I've got brother-in-laws and sister-in-laws, and see my brother in attendance and his wife. And That kind of support goes a long way. You can try to please everyone, and even in your family setting, it's pretty well hard to do. But I've got a pretty supportive family, and I'm really appreciative of it. I'd like to thank staff, because so far they've made the transition fairly smooth, along with the fellow counselors. And that means a lot, because logistically I could sit on that side and complain, but it's a little different on this side. And I thank you very much for that. I thank for the new mayor, John Maloney, for his support. We've been sailing buddies for quite a while, and I hope that he doesn't schedule any meetings for sailing night. He promised me he wouldn't. I don't know if he'll live up to that promise or not. But I'd also like to thank the good justice. It's really an experience to go through that oath, and I will honor it to the end. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Councilor Dave Elliott, representing Ward 1.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In the interest of time, I wrote down my speech because my fellow councilors know how I usually kind of ramble on. But the clerk did give us some latitude, so I don't have to stick to the script, which may be good for some and bad for others. Madam Justice Madalena and honored guests, friends and family. I figure if the mayor can do it, I can do it too. I truly don't know how to express my thoughts and say thank you for the support that I've received from the residents of Ward 1, and not only this election, but the one prior. It is most humbling to have the trust and confidence of many to be carefully given to you through the very personal privilege of a vote. The democratic right to cast a ballot is not taken lightly, and I would like to thank those that have entrusted that vote to me. It comes with great responsibility, and I will work very hard to ensure that your vote means as much to me as it does to you. I'd like to thank my wife, Sandy, who thinks I'm crazy for doing this, and my family, my sons, Adam, Cole, my mom and dad, Harry and Jeanette, my in-laws, John and June, who have fully supported me in this endeavor. Without their continued support, it would not be possible to do that which I love to do, and that is serve the community. I thank you all. And I'd be remiss if I did not mention a couple of my good friends, Bob and Debbie, who have always stood beside me through everything. I thank you for your true friendship. I believe our city has a bright future, and throughout the past 4 years, we have made great strides in creating an atmosphere which is inclusive. This council has often debated matters and has always been respectful of one another's ideas, thoughts, and wishes. I look forward to continuing with moving our city in a direction which allows growth and prosperity for all. I cannot encourage residents enough to participate in this growth. Volunteer, join a committee, come to council and express your thoughts. It is only through the inclusion of combined voices that we can remain strong and vibrant. Don't remain silent. Our greatest strength lies in open communication and the ability to listen to those who have elected us. We are your council and work on your behalf. And so as we embark on the term of the next council, I would like to offer my congratulations to Mayor John Maloney. A warm welcome to our newest councilor, John Main, and a huge round of applause to all the returning councilors as well. I look forward to the opportunities and possibilities that lie ahead. There is still much work to be done, but together we can accomplish much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Councilor Yvonne Doucette, representing Ward 2.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Honorable Madam Justice Madalena, Mr. Mayor, Mr. CAO, my colleagues on council, staff and guests, thank you so much for making this evening a great evening. To my constituents, your vote of confidence on October 27 was a new mandate to continue the work started. Thank you all for following the issues on many forms of media. It was interesting, and I must say, very good for me. My blogs allowed me to think through carefully all the issues and what I wish to accomplish during this term in office. Will they all get done? I hope so. I will be very diligent to address all the issues in a concise and pragmatic manner so as to allow everyone a say in the solutions. I must also congratulate all the other candidates that worked hard during this campaign. It was a hard-fought campaign with some good issues being brought to the forefront. You need to be proud of the successes you had and your ability to navigate through a very steep learning curve. Your issues will become my issues. I must thank all the citizens that have placed their trust in me again and returned me to this office. I am humbled by this trust and confidence. I am prepared to play a strong role in this council and to find solutions that will help our city and our ward. We have come a long way in our journey, and we will continue to move forward in the next 4 years. Being fiscally responsible to all the constituents is critical. Both your elected councillors are very cognizant of the cost of government and the fact that we have some major decisions that will be made during this term. Stay tuned for updates, and stay tuned for our biannual ward meetings at Tim Hortons. They seem to be very successful, and they will continue. One of the things that these meetings does is it helps us to get a pulse of the community and allows us to garner the information necessary to present to council. As Councillor Elliott just said, ladies and gentlemen, please be prepared to participate in all activities in the city. We need your input. We need to know where you're coming from. Without that, we are often making decisions that we feel are the correct ones, and usually they are, but your opinions are important to us. They are important to me. We need to know what you think. Believe me when I say you are first and foremost the reason why we are doing this job. The reason why we need to continue to hear from you at all times. Carole, ma chérie, le voyage continue. Sans ma famille, je suis seul dans ce voyage. Je t'aime beaucoup et je suis fier d'être ici et de t'avoir à côté de moi. Nous sommes ensemble dans tout ce que je fais. À Éric et Luc, merci pour tout ce que vous faites lorsque je suis occupé dans les affaires de la ville. Je sais que vous êtes prêts lorsque je suis occupé. Joshua et Colin, merci pour l'aide pendant la campagne électorale. Votre aide a été très appréciée. Ce que je fais ici est pour vous, pour les jeunes d'aujourd'hui. Je comprends que ma famille me supporte et devient de plus en plus mon poteau de support. Merci. One more time, thank you so much. And please, stop me when you see me out and about or working in my flower gardens, and just come and visit. I am retired, and when not at a meeting, I am home.
Merci, Yvon. And now Frank Dent, representing Ward 3.
Thank you, Justice Madalena. People tonight, generally when there's this many cops in the room, we're generally worried, but I guess tonight we're not. Just like to say thank you to my wife. 30 years of me, eh? Such an honor. Ward 3, thank you so much. I'm not a long speaker. I tell more jokes than I tell other things, but it's been a great 4 years. Made some new friends with staff, certainly learn from my experiences. I enjoy what I do, whether it's in my hardware store or working for the people of Ward 3. You got a problem, come and see me. I love a challenge. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Frank. Ron Bodner, Councillor Ron Bodner, from representing Ward 4.
Thank you, Mayor Maloney, Madam Justice, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored and excited once again to represent the residents of Ward 4. To those residents and the rest of the city, I promise to continue working respectfully with councilors and the mayor as we implement policies, set a budget, and plan for the future of our community. I'd like to thank my wife, Claire, and the rest of my family for their support and encouragement. This allows me to pursue something I love doing, representing the residents of Ward 4. And I encourage you all to share your thoughts and ideas with me. We have some challenges as we move forward, but with careful thought, some common sense, and at times bravery, the future can and will be filled with good things for Port Colborne. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ron. At this time, I'd like to ask Representative-elect David Berrick from our region of Niagara.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's a great pleasure to be here and join all of you this evening. A special thanks to the folks in uniform here tonight. Out of respect for you, I'll try to be very brief so you can sit down sooner. I do want to take the opportunity to thank all of the residents of Port Colborne for their faith and confidence in me to continue serving and representing Port Colborne at the regional level. It's important to know that I still have a mandate to pursue getting Port Colborne's fair share, to continue taxpayer affordability, and to further job creation. And those things I will continue to do. I'd also like to take the opportunity to thank my wife and kids, not only through the campaign period, but also during the entire term. As folks here know, it is a time commitment. So the fact that they share me in the pursuit of public service, I thank them for that. I do want to thank those involved in my campaign team as well, as it was an incredible effort and a lot of volunteer hours to put on a strong campaign. I want to congratulate each and every one of the folks here that got reelected, and to the newly elected mayor as well. I look forward to working with you, Mr. Maloney, at the region level as well. I know you and I will work well together to accomplish a lot for the city of Port Colborne. And I want to thank all candidates that ran for election this year. All candidates. It's so important, now that municipal elections are only once every 4 years, to give folks a choice on the ballot. That's so important, so I want to thank everybody for that. And with that, Mr. Mayor, look forward to working with you, this council. There's lots of work to be done, as you know, both at the city level and the regional level. And so we look forward to the challenge. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Berrick. I look forward to working with you as well. Maybe we could carpool on the way to the region. Saving money, saving costs. At this point, I'd like to call for any disclosures of interest. Pardon? Members of council, are there any disclosure of interest? There being none, I'd also like to acknowledge in the audience here tonight former Mayor Neil Schoen. Neil's at the back, and also former Mayor Bob Saraceno, who's here representing our MPP, Cindy Forrester, and our MP, Malcolm Allen. Madam Justice Madalena, ladies and gentlemen, I'd also, I think I forgot to mention Branch 56, our color party at Royal Canadian Legion. In Port Colborne, you know it's not a good thing to leave out the Legion. And I apologize for doing so. I think I did. Mesdames et messieurs, les gens de Port Colborne ont fait leur choix et ce soir, nous allons recommencer à construire notre ville prospère, juste et respectée. I am deeply honored to have been elected mayor of this remarkable city. It is a great privilege. It is also a great responsibility. I commit myself to serving the citizens of our community to the best of my ability with energy, pride, and integrity. I will be fair, pragmatic, but always a community activist. I will remain wedded to my core principles of equality and justice. I am determined to lead council in achieving the hopes of our community, which acknowledges that I represent the collective viewpoint of our 8 elected councilors. To my council, I know we will work well together with staff as a multi-person team. I applaud you for sacrificing your time with a view to improving our community. Your civic duty is exceptionally noble. I look forward to pooling our individual strengths and uniting to serve the best interests of our city. We have great access to our community because council is, and always has been, the closest tier of government to the people. We will interact with the upper tiers governments in advocating for our residents and our municipality, working with the region, the province, and the federal government to ensure Port Colborne gets the maximum amount from any of the programs available. To staff, I look forward to working with you and leveraging your experience and knowledge to achieve the best results for the residents of our community. I pledged to spend the next term of council working alongside my council colleagues and staff to continue to improve and to deliver the outcomes that you, our citizens, and our municipality deserve. To our community, council has a monumental task in addressing the seminal issues facing our community, including but not limited to replacing aging water, sanitary, and storm sewer lines that in some areas of the city are on the verge of collapse. Providing serviced industrial lands to retain and attract new business, thereby increasing our realty tax base, our skilled workforce, and our population base. All the while keeping a vigilant eye on tax and fee increases. Maintaining our parks, open spaces, and athletic venues while nurturing our growing arts community. Encouraging new home construction and development, again, expanding our realty tax base. Monitoring and reducing our debt load with strong fiscal management. Addressing poverty-related issues that continue to plague our community. Advocating for stronger healthcare service, including the fight to keep a full-service hospital in Welland. The reality is that is our hospital and we must not lose that. We've done it once, we don't need to do that again. This leads me to the concept of relationship building, forging partnerships and seeking opportunities to perhaps share services and costs with our neighboring communities. We as a council and a corporation must make wise decisions now for the residents of tomorrow. I thank you for attending tonight's inaugural meeting. From this day forward, I look forward to rolling up my sleeves with council members around this table and staff to tackle the issues faced by our great community. Port Colborne is a wonderful place to live, to work, to play, and to enjoy. Our civic pride is unmatched in any community in Ontario. Thank you very much. Is there any further business? Seeing no further business, Madam Clerk, could we have the confirming bylaw?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, that the following bylaw be read 3 times and finally passed. Bylaw 615812414 being a bylaw to adopt, ratify, and confirm the proceedings of the Council of the Corporation of the City of Port Colborne at its inaugural meeting of December 1st, 2014.
May I have a mover and a seconder for the approval of this bylaw? Councillor Angie Desmarais, Councillor B. Kenny. All in favor? Motion carried. As mayor, I am calling a special meeting of council for Monday, December 8th, beginning at 5:30 p.m. for the purpose of receiving advice from legal counsel for matters pertaining to the sale of land and matters of personnel, all in accordance with Section 239 of the Municipal Act. That brings us to the close of this meeting. I would like to invite each and every one of you to join us for refreshments immediately following this meeting. And may I have a mover and a seconder to adjourn this meeting? Councilor Main and Councilor Butters. Councilor Danch as well. All in favor? Motion carried. Sergeant at Arms, would you please retire the colors?
Yes, sir. Color party! Form off! Honor guard, form up! Color party, by the left. Quick, march.
And have the region come along, go over the region.